So our next speaker is Slavica. Slavica has been in tech forever. She also was a professor at one point. And she is brilliant. And she's going to talk about a peek behind the curtain on how I stopped worrying and learned to love AI. She has a great sense of humor, catch the jokes where you can, and she's extremely knowledgeable about this topic. So without further ado, Slavica.
Yes, so let's peek behind this powerful term, artificial intelligence. How many of you have seen the movie Wicked? Yes? Oh,
Wicked?
Wicked.
Yeah, Wicked.
Oh, okay, okay. So you remember?
Well, not officially, with my granddaughter.
Okay.
No judgment.
No, I mean, everything I do with my grandkids, they made me do it.
So, but I hope you follow the story.
Oh, yeah. I saw it back in the plane by myself.
Okay, okay. So here we have the witches going to see Wizard of Oz to get some answers, and they can meet Wizard of Oz. Well, for some people that are a little bit older, they might be familiar with the movie Wizard of Oz. So Wicked is actually a spin-off of that great movie Wizard of Oz, and here we have a slide coming from the movie Wizard of Oz, which is really something that people that haven't seen should see. And here the whole movie Wizard of Oz is about the quest. So we have a group of people, in the middle we have the little girl called Dorothy. She and her friends go to the country of Oz to see the Wizard of Oz in the Emerald City and ask for some answers. So they're on the quest, and they get to meet the Wizard of Oz. And this thing looks really powerful. It's a godlike. There's like coal and fire, and the Wizard of Oz demands respect and healthy distance, and he's like so much knowledgeable. So for me, when somewhere like 2 years back from now, there's like discussion of AI term, and wherever I turn, there's AI, and people think that that's only powerful. Somehow I felt like, oh my God, this sounds like Wizard of Oz. All this fire, that's marketing big time. But in the movie, Dorothy had a little dog, and the dog threw the curtain. And then you can see that beyond the curtain, behind that old hoopla, there's a man playing with gadgets, manipulating different gadgets. So, for me, that is very powerful metaphor that AI, no matter how much, is present everywhere we turn. Behind that, there is something created by man. Well, then we can really get familiar with that and understand the concept, and there is no reason to be afraid to use it. So this is the reason I created this presentation. I wanted to share with you my approach and how I basically learned to love this artificial intelligence that at the beginning was a little bit scary. So I'm going to go through some of the concepts. I hope you enjoy the ride. I try to be a little bit geeky, a little bit really like very friendly and light. This is about me. So I have 2 capital degrees. One is in electronic engineering, one is in computer science. So I like to learn new things, and along the way I get some degrees and some certificates. Mostly I enjoy connecting with both technology and business, And I think I'm good in understanding both aspects enough to make them feel comfortable working with each other. So I have more than 30 years of experience. And at the bottom you see one of my attributes is formerly nervous about AI. So we are dealing with the term intelligence. Before we go into AI, what is artificial intelligence? That's ability to learn, to understand, to adapt, and to use memory, our problem-solving skills, and to apply critical thinking. Here we have two robots. I was hoping that we would see little robots that.
I'll bring him out later. I'll bring it out on lunchtime.
So we have one of those guys here. And now, what is really artificial intelligence? So, through time, the definition changes a little bit because technology evolves, we have some different things happening. And if you go to different sources, you will see a little bit of different definition of what really AI is. Bottom line, those are the programs that became intelligent. There are some tests to see what is really artificial intelligence and what is not. So for example, in 1950, Turing published an article describing what a test could be. So for him, artificial intelligence is a system that the human can communicate with, and the human is not really aware that on the other side, it's not another human. So we have somebody communicating with an entity and thinking that's a human on the other side, but actually it's an artificial system. Well, the thing is, artificial intelligence being written as a smart program, we never make mistakes in algebra. So if you want to really to test who's on the other side, keep asking mathematical questions, eventually the human will make mistake. Artificial intelligence will not. This is why Turing introduced the concept of artificial stupidity. So our system, if you wanted to emulate a human, then we have to introduce also like artificial stupidity. So there are other tasks. Is the system able to make coffee by itself, to follow the directions and put together a IKEA furniture, etc. Here in the picture we have a really good looking robot, but not all robots are very sexy, they're very intelligent. A little bit about robots. We have those industrial robots that are just repeating some task, and there is no real intelligence they are building, they're repeating all the time the same. But also there are robots that are smart enough to make the decisions what the next smart move will be. Does anybody know where the name robot, the term robot comes from?
Like an Eastern European language that it means slave and or
No,
something.
it
along
means
those-
worker.
Worker, okay.
Yeah. So 100 years ago, there was a play written by a Czech writer, and he had some humanoids that were employed as workers, and he called them robots. So this is where the term robot kicked in. Do we recognize the robot on the right? Yes.
I want one, yeah.
Robot.
I want one.
That's a robot. So that's a robot. It's smart enough to go around the house and clean the floor. But the original version of the robot was not smart enough to recognize what when the dog poops on the carpet.
That's why I don't know.
So that's a catastrophe. And then they build the next versions. They build computer vision and some critical thinking to avoid catastrophes. A little bit about bots, which is short for robot and then agents. So bots are the systems that are active on the internet, and the bots are actually automated tasks. Chatbots are tasks that are able to communicate with humans. They can be communicating in text or voice. And then we have agents. Agents are a little bit more intelligent because using sensors, they get information from their environment, then they process the information, they make the decision using the intelligence of theirs, and then they perform some actions to influence the environment. So one of the definitions of AI is study and design of intelligent agents. But really, what is artificial intelligence? Those are computer programs. There is input, there is output. In between, we have the program. Well, with artificial intelligence software really made huge progress with big data in the last 10 or so years, because we use big data to train our models, and then the graphic processing units, which are very powerful, and they can process all that amount of data very fast, and we get output very quickly. A little bit about AI history. So from the beginning of human civilization, humans are always like dreaming about having some assistants that can do some tedious or hard job instead of the humans themselves. So they were like trying to make something, or they were like describing those things in art, including like Frankenstein. They were writing articles, they are making progress in science, so you can really read a lot about their history. On the left side, you see part of the transcript of yours truly, and you can see that I did have passed the exam artificial intelligence in 2007. So for people that think that AI kicked in with ChatGPT, no, AI was there so long ago, but it was not as popular. In the 90s, I was blessed enough to work with people that were programming neural networks. So I was there seeing really how neural networks are applied in helping people, paralyzed people use prosthetics. Then I was blessed enough to see the start of face recognition. So in the 90s, neural networks are already kicking in, but we had a winter of artificial intelligence because there was no money to really support it. Some other current things were really popular, like internet. But thank God people continued working on neural networks and artificial intelligence. Why do we care about this artificial intelligence? Why do we deal with that? Are we like pushing our boundaries to see what we can, or any other reason?
For utopia.
For utopia. Okay, that's a good one. I like it. Yeah, this is another big.
Well, solve problems we haven't been able to solve, or solve things faster, productivity, better lifestyle.
Yeah,
I want to work 20% of the time and get paid 200%.
exactly. And be. Yeah, so this is what we are trying to achieve with this artificial intelligence. Well, we are using it to propel us in our career, to achieve the goals, to be more effective, more productive. But we cannot just say, hey, do that for me. We have to explain to our system what we want from them and train them. So we have to let them know exactly what our goal is and help them with some parameters. Otherwise, you're missing the goal. So, in order to have the system achieve the goal, we have to train it. So we have our target, and we write a program to hit the target, but we miss it. Then we measure the difference between where we ended up and the target, and we put a feedback loop so our system knows how much we erred and in which direction. Then we try different way, and we play with parameters until we reach our target. So this is called model training or AI training. This is something that analysts that setting up the parameters. We have the goal. This lady dealing with old style TVs trying to have the picture be of better quality. She's trying different algorithm. One algorithm is hit the TV, the other is play with an antenna. And she's adjusting the parameters like that, and then she's looking how good the quality is. And this is something that we all went through, and many of us have applied this kind of training of neural networks. So this is what happens when we start learning how to walk. We have our neural network inside, and we try to use it, and we make mistake and we fall, and we try another, and we adjust our parameters. So something similar happens with neural networks. And now, this is mostly what people think about AI. There are so many tools and apps, and you get lost in all these icons, and then you hear a new term and you see new icon. And this is really what made me nervous at the beginning of the whole story. But if you understand the concepts, then I think we can deal with this huge number of apps in an easier way. Here on the right side, you see in the middle Cortana. How many of us have heard about Cortana? Is Cortana popular these days? No.
Hey, there's Clippy. Where's Clippy?
Oh,
Where's
no,
Clippy?
I'm too young for that. So Cortana, like 10-ish years ago, it was a huge thing. Everybody was about Cortana. No, now you hears about it. So my point is, we have to kind of understand the main concepts, and then it's easy just to, oh yeah, we only that tool and that tool, and we'll deal with tools much easier. And of course, we have these kind of very useful tools, like basically just a few of them in medicine, like image processing, where AI is able to recognize cancer in the images, for those kind of things. Upper right corner, there's a little robot, which I did not believe my eyes when I saw it in Miami downtown. Has anybody seen those?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was looking at the roosters and chicken, and suddenly there is robots. This Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about AI, we are dealing with technology listed on the left side. So this means math and engineering, and on the right side, like social sciences and more about human nature and business domain. When we build AI systems, we have to be aware of those two components, and we have to power both components. Otherwise, there is no real purpose of building a system. here are the main subsets of AI. So we have this huge domain, AI. Then, what is really the core of AI is machine learning, a lot of math. Then, within the machine learning, we have deep learning. And then within deep learning, we have large language models. So machine learning is about pattern recognition, deep learning is about neural networks, and LLM or large language model is about neural language. So, like I said, big part of AI is machine learning. People are so much curious about AI, but they don't care about machine learning. And you cannot have
Yeah.
AI without machine learning. And what is the base of machine learning? Math, statistics. If you package nicely statistics, you get machine learning, and then you present it nicely, and that's artificial intelligence. Okay, so now a little bit more serious, just a little bit. What is machine learning? This is, let's say, pattern recognition. So when we apply machine learning, our algorithm is recognizing the relationship between different pieces of data. It recognizes a pattern. So when we push all the data to our model, machine learning algorithm is processing data and finds the relationships. So now, when the new data set is coming, our system is able to apply the same pattern and predict what is the outcome of the processing. And then if we go into machine learning, there are different types. The main groups are supervised and unsupervised. Supervised machine learning is when you push the data and you ask the algorithm exactly what you want from the algorithm. You know your goal. Unsupervised is you push the data to the algorithm and say, hey, give me your conclusions. So that's the main difference. Here are some